kind of weird this season, I want to say.
What's weird about it?
Well, there's been quite... I mean, we knew there was going to be a discrepancy between the top 3 teams and the rest of the field, but the discrepancy feels huge.
I feel like that's every season.
And then the third team, which is Quincy Crew, there's a big discrepancy between them, it feels like, and the other 2, which are the 2 teams that we're watching now. If you've done the math, this is going to be the closest series on paper that we've had thus far.
It should. It should.
Both teams undefeated. Both...
They've lost 1 game each.
1 individual game each, that is correct.
EG lost to the Cut. Do you remember who TSM lost to?
TSM lost to 4 Zoomers.
4 Zoomers. Okay, so both teams lost to teams that they would probably say they shouldn't.
Yes.
Teams that are tiers below.
Right.
So it is, yeah, it's...
But I will say the other games were not close. Both of these teams
no.
have looked like really, really good.
Yeah, they...
I mean, EG played Quincy Crew, and it was not close. 2-0 stomp.
Yeah, I mean, for TSM, ever since they, like, ever since TI, they've looked really good, basically. They've looked exceptional. And, you know, the big question mark over their heads for the longest time was, like, is this going to be the, like, perpetually, you know, third-place team that there always is in NA, where they're, you know, battling for that slot of the TI qualifiers and just not, you know, ever considering, you know, going to a major through the actual regionals. But nope, they proved they're a very strong team, or arguably the strongest in the region.
Yeah, and ever since TSM picked them up, they really haven't looked back. That first DPC season, EG kind of got off to a slow start. Then, obviously, they had issues with Nightfall, his visa and whatnot, and they had to get MSS to fill in, and they actually looked better with MSS for a little bit. But TSM ended up winning out in the end for the regional finals. And this season, though, EG has just looked almost unstoppable. So, hyping up this game even more, Jenkins. This is going to be a good one.
I think Nightfall has improved a lot at offlane. I've been playing a lot with him in pubs and, you know, watching.
Is he happy about that when you?
You know, well, I'll do what he says to do. You know.
But you play offlane, so how does that work?
I'll play, you know, a little bit of pudge action in there. No big deal.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sure he's very happy about that. Yeah. Although, well, look at this lane with Nightfall. Jarex is actually playing the Enchantress as a position 4. We have a Techies in the safe lane instead.
Okay. I mean, when I see a Terrorblade, I think this is North America, and I would not be incorrect in this assessment.
Yeah.
Feels like Arteezy has started a trend. Obviously, he's not playing it this time. He's playing the CK instead as a sticky bomb with the... I guess you could call it a setup with the Chaos Strike, but it feels like you can't miss with the sticky bomb anyway.
Yeah, this is a really nice lane for the Techies. You always want some sort of setup stun, especially long duration to set up your suicide and the sticky bomb. But it's funny because whatever side lane he goes to, he will have that. Even Invoker, arguably like decent enough setup for the Techies, because it is really hard to hit the triple 9 combo. But you know, with stuns, it makes it quite a bit easier.
Yeah, they can continue to try to harass Saberlight here. I mean, we haven't talked about your thoughts on the respective lineups. Sounded like the panel was kind of split. Both lineups make a lot of sense, and it just comes down mostly to execution. Like, it's not going to be one of those games unless things go horribly wrong where you're like, okay, this team got outdrafted.
Yeah, no, I think there are like places where both teams are stronger. So TSM, I think their team fighting looks much stronger than EG's because you can just Ravage all the CK illusions, and then in the Ravage, you can kill them with Sand King and, you know, the other nukes that they have. And then that gives TB, where he's like, TB's not going to get bursted. If you don't use the CK ulti, there's no way TB goes down to the rest of the damage. Unless your Techies is like really huge. So I think in terms of team fights, TSM has that because they picked this Tidehunter. EG, however, they have Invoker, DK, Chaos Knight. Like, these are our skirmish heroes. These are heroes that want to like find that one guy that's split pushing or take these like small engagements. So they're kind of more about playing the map and killing people as they're doing that.
Saberlight taking, again, some more damage here. But, I mean, on top of that, as we see the blast off, Saberlight should live. Although Chaos Strike is off cooldown, 2 seconds.
Oh, that...
And the sticky bomb, that should be enough. And first blood to crit. They're seeing the power of the CK Techies combo. Yeah, and obviously the panel did talk about how blast off is just one of these crazy ass skills. Obviously it's kind of hard to connect sometimes, but if it does, it's super high value.
Yeah, and like I said, like he's got, they made it an easy Techies game, which is, yeah, this new Techies is, it's an interesting hero. I feel like the old Techies with, you know, placing all of the mines, that was something that felt really strong in pubs because people were like largely uncoordinated. You have a hero who still has like a relatively low win rate in pubs, but I think this one is a lot easier to play in competitive because before it's like in competitive the enemy team would just get a gem and like de-ward you, like it thrived in the chaos. But now this new techies is more about just doing this like overwhelming amount of burst damage, and you can't really counter it as easily. So in like a competitive environment, I think this hero feels really strong.
Yeah, they're going for it again. Blast off is ready to go. But won't be going for it as it wouldn't have been enough damage anyway. But once Arteezy has enough mana for another combo, they should be able to finish him off. But on the other side, TSM does have a lot of combos with his arrow, right? They have Burrow, they have Nightmare, Fiend's Grip, all that good stuff. Now we'll see if they can set that up as, okay, Nightmare there to try to save Saberlight, but the blast off from afar, crit with his second kill of the game. And, I mean, Tidehunter usually a hero that can withstand a lot of pressure in lane. It's just not happening right now.
Yeah, it's funny, he's not really using the CK stun to set up for the blast off. He's like using it as a kind of like final finisher to close the gap, which, like you said, against Tidehunter, a hero that tanky, like maybe if you blast off right as soon as the stun comes out, maybe it's actually not even enough damage. Because that was like right in the tower. He almost got away on Tidehunter both times.
Yeah, we can see the CS from the position ones. Arteezy 27-6 and Tomato 21-6, so kind of even. It's really the mid lane that's the story. It's actually quite even overall between Sumail and Bryle. Or Sumail, Abed and Bryle. I mean, what are your thoughts on Invoker versus Sand King?
Oh, jeez.
It's such a weird thing to watch.
Yeah, it's strange. Sand King will always farm. He just, you know, sandstorms the wave, goes in jungles. But, yeah, I'm impressed with Abed's denies. I mean, I suppose it's just because Sandstorm gets creeped so low, and with how fast it ticks, like if you're just really good at clicking at the right time, it's actually pretty easy to deny. But still 14 on Quaswex Invoker. Like I clicked on him to see if he was Exort because I was thinking like, oh, how does he? You know, he must have a ton of damage, but he's just bullying the hell out of Bryle here.
Yep, Abed's Invoker, good stuff. Definitely better than Sumail on Invoker, I would say.
Yeah, of course, naturally.
As we have a Nightmare in the bot lane, but gonna set up a little bit of damage. Okay, that's a lot more damage than I was expecting. Crit. Looks like he'll live, just barely. Saberlight trying to regain control of this lane after dying a couple times. A lot of regen has come out. You can already see the advantage for EG. 1K net worth. You can see in the net worth in terms of the individual heroes, they have the top 3 in the game as well. So good start from them. Another aspect we didn't really talk about is Tomato against Breathe Fire. The attack damage mitigation for percentage base for somebody like TB is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's really important. Almost everybody goes for the level 10 talent now to go for that damage reduction.
Yep. You see the combos between Abed and Crit. Not able to leap away thanks to the silence that comes out. So EG off to a very good start. And I will say TSM has definitely had EG's number in the last few matches they've played in the past DPC season. They won the wild card and they won in the regional finals as well, did TSM. So we'll see if EG, I mean, they're obviously looking for revenge. Of course, this is a totally different team now with Nightfall being full-time again.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if he would admit it because I know he's, you know, he's a player that is very confident in his own abilities, and, you know, you should be to play at this level. But I do feel like he's getting a lot more comfortable on the offlane role, and it's you can feel it when you're playing with him. That it's like he feels like an offlaner now, whereas before it felt like he was a carry playing offlane, which he was, which he literally was. He farmed a lot, you know, but now it's like he's super active.
And considering that he's the one that is talking the most in these games, I can just imagine between Crit and Jerax, there's not a whole lot of talking in the support role. But Nightfall being the outsider kind of coming in, I mean, that takes quite the transition.
It does. It's not easy. Jerax has looked really good as well. He had a bit of a shaky start when he was coming back. A lot of people were questioning, oh, you know, this guy's 6K, whatever. He looks amazing anytime he plays Enchantress. Like, he's so aggressive, and I also feel like EG got a lot better at playing around Enchantress. When Jerax is playing, he's so aggressive. He always did this on OG, where he's just like right in the face of the enemy team, just being this annoying wall. And it looks a lot worse if your team is not used to playing around that.
And we see the Centaur Stomp come out from Jerax, but Ooh, missed burrow strike from Bryle, though. It looks like he's going to heal up and could take that rune as well. Oh, but the arrow just in time. Nightfall is in the area, though, so making this more exciting than it really is. They end up taking the bounty for themselves. And, I mean, the laning stage, we've seen this with other teams where EG kind of just separates themselves, like at the beginning of the game, just from winning all 3 lanes. I mean, it's not as drastic, I suppose, but a 2K lead at this stage is pretty decent. So we'll see if TSM can kind of try to withstand this pressure that EG is mounting on them.
Yeah, once TSM has their 2 blinks, they're not going to go for a blink on Tidehunter just yet. They're going for first item Hood, which I think makes sense. You have a Sand King getting a blink mid, but once you have Bryle in his blink, I think you can probably fight EG, but for now, you're playing against Enchantress, you're playing against Dragon Knight. These are heroes who are just really strong at running at towers this early. They're so tanky. Like, even just this solo Enchantress is being such a pain in the ass. You have super strong TSM heroes here, and they can't stop him from doing this. He's alone.
No. And crit with the Arcane now.
Oh, he's a full Veil. That's cool.
No boots Veil.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's I mean, I hate to keep bringing up the net worth, but it just feels like EG is getting everything that they want right now. From TSM, obviously, they don't have a kill. That hurts. But, I mean, they do have... We talked about the setup. I'm surprised they haven't really gone for anything. As Saberlight gets completely drained of his mana thanks to the EMP, but they don't really have enough to take him out quite yet. Or do they? Okay. They have the wall. Alacrity as well. Saberlight pops the hood. Sticky Bomb will connect. I mean, he's going to get out, but decent amount was expended from EG, although they're very healthy on mana. So what does TSM need to do here? It feels like they're not going for this. Maybe I'm harping too much on the arrow combos, but just haven't seen much.
They could definitely like smoke Bane and try to go for some arrow setup, but more often than not these days, you see teams waiting for their blink daggers. I think a big reason for it is because of how strong like Bracer is, for example. So you have, you know, a hero like Dragon Knight who's got 2 points in passive, and Jarex is so annoying. Or Jarex standing on a high ground like this. Like, you have these really tanky, annoying heroes who are frontlining, where it's like, what are you going to do? Run past them? You can't do that in a smoke, right? They're standing right there. What are you going to do? Kill them? Who gives a shit if you kill Enchantress? So I think they're waiting for the Blink Dagger. And like I said, more often than not, that's what people do these days. That's
oh boy. Yep. We're going to see if Tomato gets killed off here, trying to go high ground, and EG was just there waiting. Sticky Bomb. Actually, the damage... Wait, does it go through the tornado? How does that work? He's dead either way, but...
I'm 99% sure that it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but...
I think the tornado damage is just good math.
Very high level for him. Abed and company now mounting some pressure on this tier 1 tower mid. You see the first Phantasm in the game, I believe, with the Armlet now online for Arteezy. Tier 1 at half HP now. So with that death, I mean, Tomato, you can look at the net worth on the left. He is...
Nightfall is...
quite far down.
I swear to God, every game I see from EG these days, Nightfall's top net worth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, he's looked so good.
Epicenter, Bryle gets off the burrow, and not enough heal this time for Jarex. But again, this is just a support Enchantress that's causing all this havoc.
That's... In that sort of situation, I feel like... You know that TSM knows that's who EG wants you to kill, right? Yeah. You know that so like TSM made the call that they think that they have to kill the Enchantress here. And they're just
seeing the replay of the kill on Tomato earlier.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was just the tornado, I guess.
I'm realizing now they had a ward on the high ground there, so he felt so safe walking up there. I guess they had smoked and waited. That's funny. It's like he could see right up the hill, you know. Only 2 heroes as well for that gank.
Speaking of smoking, we see Nightfall and Crit smoked up right now.
Blink Dagger on DK, I would imagine. Yeah, he's got his blink now.
Yep. And I believe this will be the reveal as well. I mean, the reveal for Sand King was on the Enchantress kill.
Yeah. Which
obviously we've talked about ad nauseum.
Not what you want, but...
better than nothing.
If they're doing something like that, you know it's because they think they have to. Like, they have to get him out of the jungle and then go for the...
I mean, that was their literal first kill of the game. You got to get on the board at some point, Jenkins.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll see if TSM can kind of bounce back from a bit of a rough laning stage for them. But this mid tower, not sure if they're going to try to go for it here. Is Mumian are going for a Spirit Vessel. You can see timing on that blink dagger for DK.
He's actually very farmed on Moonmander. He's just been super greedy, I guess.
Arrowing creeps.
Arrowing creeps. He has 50 last hits at
wow.
14 minutes as a Mirana. That's pretty crazy.
A little greedy, but maybe it's needed here. So you can see the range creep with that piercing damage.
So annoying.
Trying to take out that mid tower. They're just chipping away very slowly. Nightfall. A little bit surprised they didn't stay mid lane to try to finish it off, but they're grouping up here after taking the tier 1 tower top already.
I can understand why EG is not like committing to a mid push, because I feel like the only way that you're going to you're just worried about losing the lead to this like crazy team fight that TSM has. You know, between Sand King and Tidehunter, it's like there's enough damage to kill anyone right now. Even if they had a 5k net worth lead, EG could still die to the combo between these two heroes.
Yeah, and a couple members of TSM are smoked next to this Tide, hoping for some sort of defense from EG, but it never comes. They give it up. So they end up kind of wasting some time here as TP now top lane to try to defend the tier 2 tower. So a bit of a slow start for TSM as the tier 1 tower, I think, will finally go down. Just been such a slow chip away. The Illusion looks to try to finish it off.
Yeah, they're very safe here. Like, you can tell that they are respecting TSM's ability to defend towers and fight in front of towers. Like, look at them. They're sitting in the trees here. Like, do you want to just get epicentered by Sand King? Like, you're going to die full to 0 on any of these heroes. Yeah. So you put the hero that you don't care about dying there, which is the Enchantress or, you know, a Forge Spirit.
Yeah, and I have to say, I mean, based on just the numbers, TSM, it feels like they're coming back a bit after that rough start. Despite being 1 tower down, it's not as big of a deficit as you might imagine.
Yeah, both teams are just kind of farming, so it's split even. It looks like EG wants to wait for their BKBs. That's the timing that they're looking for, which, you know, once again, going back to the team fight that TSM has, like, it does make sense. But I think if you're TSM on the flip side, you're thinking, like, well, this is great. We lost the lanes and we're still farming. Like, this is ideal for us. It's not like they don't have BKB piercing stuff later. Like, they have Bane Fiend script. They have Terrorblade who's going to get a Scotty. They're more than happy to go late game for TSM.
And Nightfall forcing out a TP. There's the Burrow Strike. Actually stunned a creep, I think, with the Dragon Tail. The Epicenter to follow. He actually pops his ultimate. Arrow is actually blocked by the Blast-Off and into the grip, so they'll get the kill on the support.
My
cool. God,
that was nice. That was
sick.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Techies doesn't suicide anymore, but in that case he did. Definitely worth it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like, wait, what was the game I was watching with? Was it EG that was blocking arrows constantly? Was it Crit doing that as well?
I don't know. That sounds like it's a fetish at that point. Block arrows, what do they call that?
I'm trying to remember what heroes it was. I'll have to think about that for a moment.
Masochism? That's what it is, right?
Masochism and sadism.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Oh, yeah. Give me that arrow, baby.
So
hell yeah.
Man, what a play.
Very nice.
And
they use grip on him, too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that is very nice for EG.
Indeed. And with that, Nightfall just goes to the mid lane to try to farm up a little bit more. And Arteezy, I think the BKB is on the way. And with that, I imagine they're going to start playing a little bit more aggressively. Obviously waiting for this DK ult. In fact, straight into the Roche pit they go. Knowing that grip is down, knowing that Epicenter is down, why not? Very methodical play from EG, but extremely smart.
Yeah, and TSM they're just not going to fight it. Neither team really making mistakes in this game. Just, I mean, other than maybe the laning stage entirely, but like both teams are just understanding the strengths of each other.
Tornado, Sticky Bomb is not going to hit though. Arteezy closes the gap thanks to the Reality Rift. Crit does not block the arrow this time, but the Sticky Bomb is there on top of the Titan. He's going to crack and shell it off. Saberlight looks to be fine. So EG only find the support, but obviously the Aegis is the big reward for them. And we'll see what their goal will be with this Aegis in Arteezy's inventory. They have 3 tier 2s still up and running to try to take out, along with the tier 1 bot. Apparently 6 minutes faster than average for the BKB on CK.
I think usually like an Echo Saber comes first, but
Yeah, opting for, oh, can't get off the BKB this time because of the Burrow Epi. That is the Aegis. Down goes Arteezy, but the blast off from Crit gets the double silent Starstorm into the Ravage. Looks like that's going to be enough to drop Crit. So it's a 1-for-1 to start things out, along with the Aegis going down. As Saberlight will be the death for TSM. But if that's all they lose, this is pretty good.
Arteezy's gripped.
Yep, he's
Ooh,
gripped from
invisible.
afar. He's actually going to get right-clicked by the meta. So Arteezy takes a tumble, and now at TSM on the offensive. Nightfall, Spirit Vesseled. Moon Meander with the Starstorm, but the arrow will not hit. So it looks like Nightfall will live as a result, as Abed focusing all his pressure on the Mirana. So Moon Meander goes down, ends up being, I think it was a 2-for-2 because Techies respawned and the Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, that's
But really good for TSM.
Arteezy didn't even get his BKB off there. He wasn't even able to press it because of the grip from Dubu. Yeah, there's like a mix of Dubu just being in a really good position and also invisible at the same time. With Crit being dead as well, there's no blast off in the backlines to interrupt the grip. And the Sandstorm was preventing DK from blinking in and getting a stun off there. So like just really well executed by TSM.
Watch this again.
I love the call too, because like this doesn't feel like a hero that you want to go on, right?
Mm-hmm. And Dubu from the back starts out with the Ravage. Even if he got the BKB off, it would have not been good anyway, because he got the grip regardless.
I do think I think he took quite a bit of damage from the Sandstorm. Oh yeah, there's just nothing to interrupt him. And
Yeah.
Nightfall's like he's constantly getting his blink broken by the Sandstorm and the Vessel. Also, TSM was just really diligent with killing the Techies mines. Like both of those mines should have killed Bryle, but I think one of them got Nightmare dodged and the other was just Bryle just instant killed it. Just right-clicked it very quickly, and those are not easy to click these days.
Yeah, and just like that, the lead has dissipated into 1K for EG, with Tomato on top of the net worth for the entire game. A 1,000 lead for him between him and Arteezy CK.
Yeah, and he's almost got a Scotty. And EG's lineup is like, it doesn't feel like they have enough damage to kill a like at some point Terrorblade can have enough items where there's not enough damage, because CK is just all physical damage. And like I mentioned before, they have ways of dealing with the CK illusions. They just ravage them and then epicenter them, and they're all gonna die. And aside from that, who's gonna do the damage to kill Tomato? Like Invoker Cataclysm, but that's gonna take a long time to get that.
Yeah. And with this Scotty able to kite Arteezy a bit, as well as kind of mitigate some of the lifesteal that you get from the crit of his. So TSM mounting a pretty good comeback. And I think this second Rosh is going to be a pretty big deal when we come to it. But the tier 2 tower is being surrounded right now by EG. Not sure how much they want to commit, as the Ags is now online for the Tides. So got the AoE Gush. Ends up aligning with that Scotty that we see picked up by Tomato now.
Radiant are scanning.
Not a bad timing for TSM to fight, definitely. The only thought is that maybe you wait for the next item on Terrorblade just because... Oh, no, never mind, they're going to go right now. I was going to say just because there's the double BKB from EG, so like they're very strong right now too. Like this is when they also would be considering fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess with the surprise Tide Eggs and the surprise Scotty, like there's that factor.
Yeah, we got the Dragon Tail, Sunstrike, and that is enough to take out the Sand King to start the fight, as Crit is going to get gone on for now, but you can see Nightfall just getting dropped to his knees. Tomato with that double damage. So much right-click from him. 2-for-1 TSM advantage. And EG have to kind of regroup now, as this game is essentially even. But it's still that Terrorblade that is super scary, that they don't have that many answers for right now.
No, they don't. And the later and later this goes until like the hyper late game, I do feel like it's going to be incredibly hard to take out Tomato. Let's see, what item is he going for next? He's going for the BKB. So yeah.
Shocker.
I think it's pretty easy for him at this point to survive the burst between the heroes he has to back him up and the HP that he has, and then the BKB is so that he can actually kill them after he gets bursted.
Arteezy is opting for the Silver Edge. See how that works out for him. Is Crit finished with his shard yet to get that stun from Blast Off?
Yes, yeah, he's got the Blast Off stun.
Okay.
That's got to be one of the best shards.
Yeah, that is a really good shard.
I feel like it's better than his Aghanim Scepter is.
Well, his Ags is very bad, so
Yes,
yes,
it's
that would be
one of the
great.
worst.
Even if it was half the price, I don't think people would still buy it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of expected for these new Ags to make sure they're not broken. See, EG, they are smoking up. Tier 1 tower's still up in this bot lane, though. And they're not going to find anybody as of yet. Nightfall with the haster, and he's going for the shard as well, so he'll be able to push out lanes by himself without requiring a whole lot of spell usage.
Yeah, pretty important. I mean, you see it on DK all the time anyway, but in this game especially, if you're standing on a wave.
Oh, Nightfall, he gets the Dragon Tail off, and the Blast Off to continue. Nightmare saves Tomato for a bit, pops that BKB, but really can't find anything with it. It's actually fine without that BKB, but obviously we have more vision than them. But at the very least, forced out the same from Nightfall.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty cool from EG, that play. They like that's obviously with the heroes that they had there, they're not killing him. That was just like a fake aggression just to make him pop that BKB. Tomato doesn't have meta. He's found here.
Oh, all right. Chaos Strike to start things out. Sticky Bomb. Into nothing. Just a Moonlight Shadow to get away.
Yeah, they're just poking, which
Radiant's middle tower
does make
is
sense
under
with their
attack.
heroes. It's not easy to fight.
Not often you see a Boots of Bearing just straight up. Along with the Pig Pull for that extra move speed. But still, oh, gotta check if our Windows is up to date real quick.
Looks like we're good on that.
Yep,
We are on
looks like.
Windows 98.
Second edition though.
Yeah, of course.
Very good build. See the Blast Off with that stun. Sunstrike into the Dragon Tail, and that is an easy kill onto Bryle. Crit again. How many kills does he have? There's 3 kills right now.
Usually you start with the DK stun, but I guess if you're sick with techies, you can just...
It is an AoE stun.
I know, but I'm just saying, you know,
Radiant's
you do have an instant stun on
True.
best, like, arguably the best instant stun in the game.
Must be nice to have that much confidence
Yeah.
for Crit. BKB now online for Abed. Nightfall being shown. Okay, arrow actually hits as he attempts to go high ground. The Scotty there as well. Ravage onto only one as Nightfall's able to hit his BKB, but will not survive the right clicks from Tomato. So nice pick off from TSM. Now see if they can get something more out of this. Saberlight can basically just defend towers by himself thanks to this Ags now.
EG's doing a pretty good job at pushing all of the lanes in. It's not usually an easy thing to do against Terrorblade because he can just push 2 lanes with the illusions. But EG's also doing the same thing. Like RTC's using his illusions to, he's using his ult to push, and then you also have the DK who's throwing his fireball on the ground.
That was a good reaction. Nice job from Moon Meander. Double leap and actually avoids the tornado as well. And EG is going to be very annoyed with that. As Arteezy continues to try to look for hero kills. Bryle, okay, Bryle knows that he's in the area because the shard procced. He's actually going to try to go for the solo kill potentially. See the Sandstorm doing quite a bit.
Radiant's middle tower
Is he actually going to go for this?
He needs Tomato to be closer.
are scanning.
That's interesting though that it procs on Invis.
Yeah. Yeah. It lets you know. Very cool.
Nice little gem.
It used to proc all the time and be visible.
That was really bad. Yeah, through fog.
Through smoke and fog, yeah. It was...
That's when it was unusable.
Yeah.
I mean, these things just need like one patch and then they're good, right?
Yeah, now it's like a busted shard, so...
So Techie's Ags needs some treatment there.
It does. It does.
But yeah, should be good.
I believe the Ags could be in the ability. It still wouldn't have that ability.
Could just be in the talent, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
The second Roche attempt now from EG. This one will have the shard, of course, but this time TSM has an inkling that it's going on, and EG have to respect this thanks to the teamfight capabilities of TSM. With the Ravage online. Elder Dragon form is activated, though.
Tower is under attack.
Abed, they're trying to fake this out. I'm not sure if they've actually scanned in the
That's
pit
another
yet.
double damage. I see.
Yeah, another DD for Tomato.
Very reasonable.
And EG, I'm not sure if they spotted that necessarily, but they do have... No, it doesn't look like they have vision up there. But they're going to reset. So not wanting to fight into this Ravage. It's TSM now. They smoke up.
They could make...
JRX trying to tank this, as is the Enchantress's job.
Does he have buyback? He does not have buyback. They're just okay throwing his life away. Nope, never mind.
Oh, RTZ.
Wow.
Oh, they're going to get the Dragon Tail off to start things out, but Bane is the first to fall in favor of EG, but BKB's popped galore. Nightfall, you can see, he's getting kited, trying to go high ground now, but getting saved thanks to the tornado. But there's the Ravage onto several heroes. Nightfall is dead. JRX is next. And we'll see if they can reposition here, as it looks like a Halberd is online now, being used on Tomato, but he still finds the kills nonetheless. And they could go into the Roche Pit as the Epicenter and the Fiend's Grip used just for the lowly techies. Just shows how annoying Crit has been this game, and that'll open up Roche for TSM.
That was some like pretty insane like instant reaction time from Nightfall that it actually kind of put him out of position there. And then also Dubu being the one that gets caught. He's the position 5 that has buyback, so like he was intentionally running in first there. So just really good call from him to do that. And man, I feel like these CK illusions just, I mean, the reaction time, I mean, that's... It's just the hero that you're getting for 2 BKBs is one that has buyback. He just comes back, gets kited onto the high ground. In between the...
And that was a godly Ravage.
Yeah, and look how quickly these CK illusions die.
That's true. They don't last too long.
He even already used Anchor Smash. Yeah, they're just dead. Like, as soon as they focus them, they just feel useless. This game. I thought that was his phone. How does he have his...
Somebody is holding it up to his face during the game.
I'm very confused. How are you doing that? Does he have 3 hands?
Who picked up the shard, by the way? It was on Tomato, but I don't know if he
Like
consumed
Saberlight
it.
with his 3rd hand.
Yeah, go through every hero. So Sand King already had his. Mirana's is terrible. All right, looks like Tomato ate his, so he's going to get the Demon Z.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you like it?
It's...
I mean, it allows you to farm while you're in melee. That's the way I look at it, right?
It's, you know, it's something. Could be cooler, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, their shards are kind of meh since Sand King already has his. Like, Mirana's is, there's no way.
Oh, no. Oh,
Tides is good, I think, but it doesn't feel like the game for it necessarily.
It's not necessary on him. He's not...
He's never going to go into the buildings.
Then again, you know, lower cooldown Anchor Smash versus the CK illusions. Like,
Yeah, true.
60% damage reduction on those. Even if you don't kill them, they're still like not doing very much damage at all.
I mean, remember where we were a few minutes ago, and now look at Tomato's lead on RTZ. It is absurd.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that a lot of the reason, I mean, we're seeing, I joked about this earlier, but RTZ kind of started this trend of Terrorblade NA players. It's like every single game. Feels like it's never banned. It just gets through in the second phase. So it's kind of a deny pick to a degree.
It deny picks all NA.
Yeah. As we have the Burrow now onto JRX, who is just dead. So TSM starting to run away with a 9K lead for them.
Oh, another double damage rune.
Oh, okay. He'll just take that little bottle action. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice and juicy.
All right.
Save that for a couple minutes.
Yeah. That would be a barrack.
1 barrack?
In a couple of minutes. Yeah, probably.
Okay, 1 barrack.
The math on that.
TSM going for the tier 2 now. And the question is, what can EG do against this? They have to kill Tomato twice. He has the double damage.
Purge the double damage would be good, but there was a tornado usage there, so...
Okay, well, you got Enchant, right?
That's true. I believe he will die if he walks up.
But he'll take off the double damage.
He will take the DD away, yeah. Oh, there's TPing action happening.
Yeah, all right. As RTZ pops the BKB, TP's out, and he'll be successful.
Dude, Dubu was almost there. Very close.
So a little bit of back and forth action across the map, but won't result in any kill, not yet at least. Yeah, Mumianer leaps to the high ground.
Okay, so sweeping across the map. So, I mean, if you're EG, you're happy that you got them away from your base. Means Artesia can walk out on the top lane and do some farming, but they are back now. And we are in exactly the same situation, except Artesia isn't out there farming. So.
Yeah, and of course, if this was another game in NA where TSM had this lead, they would probably play a little bit more aggressively, but the fact that it's against EG, they know that one bad fight can really turn this game around. So they're going to respect their opponent.
You don't want to do throwing action in this game. This is, you only have 2 major slots there, so
For now, yeah.
for now.
We'll see how things shape up as a refresher now for Saberlight on the Tide. That is pretty good.
Yeah, so if it was hard to play Chaos Knight in this game, it just became impossible.
Yeah.
That will be... Unfortunately, you cannot BKB on all of your illusions, and there are your damage, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. As long as you kill the illusions, he doesn't really pose much of a threat.
No. And,
so if he's not doing damage, you can see the damage dealt. Arteezy's actually last on his team.
wow.
That is...
Wow.
All right,
That's
I was
insane.
expecting it to be maybe third,
For a
but
chaos.
Enchantress doing more. Oof, rough stuff.
Yeah. That's rough. 'Cause I feel like Jerax has just been dying.
I mean, he's been trying to tank these ganks as the Moonlight Shadow used in conjunction with the smoke. Looks like crit. He'll be spotted.
I heard a
Oh, that
ravage.
was a Ravage. Okay, BKB forced, but not the greatest trade for TSM. They'll find the kill on crit.
Saberlight, I think, assumed that there was going to be backliners there. Like, that crit was just the person at kind of the perimeter of, like, where the rest of the team was.
Right.
That just wasn't the case. I believe this is a who caught who sort of scenario here.
Yeah, Dubu. Lotus is himself. Whoa, BKB quick fingers from Abed. Trying to finally get this kill on the pesky Bane. And they're going to find not only that, but Moon Meander as well. On the other side, though, there's the break. Thanks to the Silver Edge, Tomato absolutely destroys Jerax. Ends up evening the score. All the supports are dead from the game
This
right
is
now.
just a support massacre. That's all that is. Yeah, both teams don't care because, I mean, it's supports.
Who cares about supports?
These are core players.
Scotty online for Arteezy now. And I'm trying to figure out a like. Really, they're focusing on, or they're really needing some sort of like big blast off initiation. It feels like
Yeah.
the damage and it has to be on several heroes. They have to get really good value out of some of these spells because it just feels like Arteezy he's been dealt with already.
Yeah. He's a problem. Oh man, he
Ooh,
knew where it was.
yeah.
He didn't have faith. You gotta have faith in yourself, Brile. He sniffed it out. But
I mean, is there any item for Arteezy that's going to make a huge difference this game, you think?
honestly, I
He's going Orchid.
I see why he got the Scotty. He wants to survive. Like, if his illusions can survive all the AoE, like one round of the AoE, then it means he can burst somebody before the next round of the AoE comes out. Because right now, it's like one AoE spell from each TSM hero, or like a couple of them, and the illusions die. So it's just about having enough HP to survive that and have them be at like 10-20%, so you can do stuff with
Radiant's
them.
middle tower is under attack.
I feel like Cataclysm from Abed on Invoker would be pretty solid, but he's going for very defensive stuff because he feels like he has to in a game like this. You know, Bane, Fiend's Grip, Sand King Stun.
Yeah.
Needs the Lincoln Seer for that.
And what about Nightfall? Because he is going for Ags next.
Nah, that
3k
hero
away.
He doesn't do damage. I mean, not to deal with the Terrorblade. It's just not enough. It's like damage over time. Any damage over time is awful versus Terrorblade because he just sunders. By the time you kill him, he has Sunder up again. You get 25.
Well, it's more a question of, do you think he should try to pivot towards doing damage since
I honestly don't think
Arteezy's going to have a hard game?
I don't think there's a way to do that on DK versus a Terrorblade. Like, I think Invoker is who you're probably relying on. But he's like a long ways away. I mean,
Is he going for Ags for Abed?
no, he's not. I mean, another way you can play this is
Radiant's top tower
you just
is under attack.
somehow kite and ignore Tomato and then kill everybody else first. But then you're talking about killing a Sand King and a Tidehunter, two, you know, melee strength offlaner type guys that are obviously very tanky. So that's difficult, but that actually might be the better option than
Radiant's
to just
top
focus
tower
Tomato.
is
I don't
under
think they can just focus Tomato unless they catch him out.
No, they might go for... Oh, Roche is not up. They might go for the Roche that hasn't spawned yet.
Yeah.
Into the high ground.
There's the ward.
Oh, Tomato. Yeah, he's going to Silver Edge to safety. Moonlight Shadow as well. So
Radiant's top
TSM
tower is under
sniff
attack.
out
Wow.
this smoke.
Dude. That was like lingering sentry vision there that gave vision of
Radiant's
that
top
high
tower
ground
has
ward.
fallen.
I think Dubu pre-placed that. And Tomato saw it because of the like, sentry vision. It was like 5 seconds. unfortunate.
Yeah, so TSM, great positioning, great awareness.
Radiant's top tower is
And
under
Nightfall and
attack.
company, they won't get the smoke gank that they wanted.
Yeah.
Instead, TSM going to push out this mid lane and try to create some space for the eventual second Roche,
Yeah,
or
you
third
can,
Roche.
you can see Moon, he draws the lines on the map. He just says, like, hey, don't run into them. Like, we don't need to run into them, man. We have Terrorblade. Just send illusions down this lane, send illusions down this lane. Like, all of their lanes are going to be in. This is not going to be good for them. Unless they run in and take Roche for free, then that's pretty good.
This one is sorely needed for EG.
Yes, yeah. I mean, TSM is there.
Yeah, and they gush, so they have a decent idea that this is occurring. Roche is at half HP, and I can see that Roche has exited the pit. Arrow connects onto crit, but I don't think there's going to be any follow-up. Just chip damage over and over. Brile, okay, they do commit, and it's not going to keep that crit alive very long. So that is the first death of this engagement. They're going to end up getting the kill on Brile, so it's a 1-for-1 to start things out. Metamorphosis is popped by Tomato. They could go for Roche potentially, because it is only at half HP as we talked about. The scout out with the Sunstrike. This is a really important fight for EG. Trying to kill the illusions. Yeah, Tidehunter has the double Ravage, so EG kind of on the back foot here. Arrow, not gonna hit, as Roche looks like it's gonna go down here in just a moment. Can they steal it? But the Ravage comes out onto 3 heroes, but Abed snatches the Aegis. Will he get out successfully? No, the Aegis is down, and it looks like Tidehunter is gonna get bursted down by Arteezy. No, Saberlight somehow stays alive thanks to the Nightmare. Gets off the second Ravage as Tomato pops the BKB. Nightfall looks to be mega dead. The cheese was also stolen by Abed. Very quick fingers from him. My lord, that was a sick play from Abed. But let's see how much this actually changes for EG. 12k lead for them now as they're gonna find crit. Double kill for Tomato. And what will they do with this now? What was the third item on Roche? Was it a refresher?
It was a refresher. Let me see.
Okay. Not sure who picked that one up.
I mean, that was just that was just one of those like insane clutch solo plays from Abed. I mean, this absolutely keeps them in the game. I love the idea of Saberlight just jumping in and ravaging like exclusively to save the Aegis.
Yeah.
But Abed pre-BKB'd and then jumped in.
Oh.
So, I mean,
He's about to be burst here. Look at this Nightmare. Oh my god. And he gets the second Ravage off.
he does.
Ends up buying back, but that
buys
was
back
still
anyway.
sick.
Yeah.
Man, what a freaking fight.
Yeah, Dubu's insane. That guy's like an actual god.
So, after all said and done, it's still a pretty big lead for TSM.
It's still a problem. Yeah, it's still like this. That's one of those things where it looks really flashy, and I mean, it's Abed. The guy is like literally rank 1, so he's just has insane mechanics, but you still have this problem of how the hell do you deal with Terrorblade? How do you deal with Tomato? I don't see it with EG's draft. Although we did see in that fight, if it wasn't for Dubu's amazing Nightmare save, they are able to kill Saberlight before he gets Ravages off because they have the break coming from Arteezy's Silver Edge. So the idea of focusing other heroes and then taking out Tomato later on in the fight, that's possibly something that you could see happening here.
Feels like that is a really hard thing to rely on, though.
It's very unreliable, but the other option is probably less reliable. Like somehow bursting Tomato without getting Ravage, without getting Burrow struck.
Now, EG smoked up. They're going to the triangle for TSM. Saberlight, this will be a dieback for him. They're going to break him, but there's a Nightmare save again. mitigating so much damage, gets forced staff to safety as well. As a Meteor comes out, Gush, Tomato pops the BKB with that meta. They're going to be able to bring down Arteezy in quick succession. And Nightfall, in dragon form, is kind of stuck in the corner and will drop to his knees. So 2 dead in favor of TSM. And that was some great spell casting.
That's the hero they probably want to find. I mean, it seems crazy to say it, like you want to find the Tidehunter, but you know, like we talked about, there aren't really better options for EG right now other than to take out this double Ravage. Otherwise, they're just going to get Ravaged as they try to focus on me twice. Like, it's not going to work.
He dodged the entire blast off with a Nightmare.
Yeah, the
So
Nightmare saves from
disgusting,
Dubu are absolutely wild. I mean, yeah, he's a very value player. I mean, Dubu is recently like rank 10 in clubs, and it's one of those things where it's like, it felt like it was just going to happen sooner or later if he played enough pubs. Like, this guy is just insane on all levels.
Arteezy dead for 40 seconds, no buyback. Nightfall does have buyback, but no Dragon Form to work with. So, I mean, working with two essentially transformation heroes, if you want to call them that. As the Demon Zeal is activated.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Yeah, hit those buildings. So this is going to be a full set of racks for TSM.
Yeah, he has a refresher. So if he wants BKB, refresh, meta, and then have another BKB for the meta. So that's why they're pushing here, is that it's like, you know, worst case, they're going to have meta to work with. Best case, they just walk up and they take all these racks.
Yeah, that Demon Zeal, pretty low cooldown. Gonna get the tower, and they see that Arteezy's coming back up, so going to play it safe. Maybe a fake back, we'll see.
Oh, I love this itemization. Lincoln Spear on Tidehunter.
Huh.
Avoid being the hero that gets bursted. This means they have to both CK stun him and also hit him with the DK stun. Like, putting 2 spells on him just sounds really hard. Initiating on a Tidehunter and hitting 2 spells on it. Like, Kraken Shell, you can also refresh the Lincoln Sphere. You've got the Nightmare saves coming out, Force Staves. How many Force Staves does TSM have? Oh, they have only 1 on Moon Meander. But still, very important for that repositioning. Like, if you want to burst a Tidehunter, you're going to need pretty much all of your heroes hitting him, even if he is broken. So forcing him out of position there, we saw it in the last fight. It's very effective.
I mean, they have been getting more breaks than literal breaks, that is, from Silver Edge than I've been expecting. But again, the saves from Duba have been very crazy. Bryle spotted out, pops the BKB instantly, and a huge Ravage comes out from Saberlight, make it a double Ravage into the death of Arteezy and Jerax, and that might do it. And Tomato and company just gonna go down the lane, pops that refresher. We'll have another BKB meta to work with. Arteezy can just drink his water and chill, because he has no buyback for quite a while.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I would love to go back to that fight and see if that was a Sand King Aghanim Shard proc, or if that was a Sentry. Maybe it was a Sand King Aghanim Shard proc into Dubu placing the Sentry, because he knew there was an Invis hero there, and then the BKB. But yeah, Brawl getting that BKB off in time is super clutch. Another problem is he has Lincoln Sphere on Brawl. So
yeah, Moon Meander has the Eon Disc. It'll proc here as Nightfall has to BKB to avoid the arrow. That does not feel good.
No.
Elder Dragon form to follow, and again, Arteezy dead for 45 more seconds, so Tomato can just focus on the buildings if he really wants. Instead, he'll use the Silver Edge to break the DK. All right, they get the Meteor off, but the BKB activated, and Tomato just ripping through everybody. Now can focus on the buildings to get these eventual mega creeps. GG is called from EG. TSM take game 1 extremely well played. And like I said, every game so far in this DPC, EG has started off really well in the laning stage and just crushed everybody for the most part. TSM able to withstand that, and able to withstand the steal of the Aegis